nawala po kasi yung head ng Marina.
Oo.
She is abroad, so.
Bakit ganyan ang mga tao?
May IMO daw, may excuse letter.
Kasi hindi
That's
dapat
why
ganyan eh.
kaya po nagkakagulo, pasensya na po.
Oo, hindi. It's not your fault, Mr. Chair. In fact, I apologize to you. You just happen to be defending it, just like I was frustrated when I was defending PCO. Pero, yan na nga, once a year lang ang ating budget hearing. Dapat naman yung mga heads of agencies, nandiyan yung secretary, pero yung attached agencies, nandiyan naman sila. Yung mga komperensyang yan na nga biyahe ng biyahe ang mga tao eh. In fact, I'll tell you this, maybe, I don't know if I will be sustained by the body. Because we're always funding the MOE and the travels of everyone, dapat man lang, may report sila. May report sila sa head of agency, copy furnish Congress. Because we're funding it. And umuutang pa tayo para sa MOE ng Executive Department. No? Ng mga hindi pang capital outlay, utang na, umuutang tayo pang sweldo at pang biyahe, pang hotel. Na mahalaga naman siguro yung mga komperensyang yon, pero dapat sinasabi sa atin. So, I will introduce the amendment only if it will be accepted by the chair. I tried to introduce that in previous years, where all the official travels, of course, they cleared it with their head of agency, and there should be reports to the head of agency, copy furnish Congress. Actually, meron na yun dati, natanggal. That's a requirement. So, anyway, I'm happy to know about alternative fuel, and you mentioned e-boats. Saan po ito mga e-boats na ito? Magandang sumakay ng e-boat kung ginagawa na ba yan?
They're starting a pilot
wala pa.
testing in Pasig River together with UST.
Yung sa ilog lang. Sige. So, kung nandiyan yung head of Marina, sasabihin ko sana, ano bang example ng green shipping? Sinabi nyo, alternative fuel, cleaner fuel, okay. And energy efficient ship design. Regulations requiring slower speed, air lubrication, etc., and sustainable operations, considering a vessel's life cycle from the construction to the decommissioning. For those lang who will build, di ba? Kasi we have to start We have to start with the mindset na from the time it's built, from the design to the kind of materials. And then emissions control and mandating new tech phasing out of old systems. These are just some of the examples or action items for green shipping. And may I request Marina to do a memo and strict monitoring, again, correct me if it's not Marina or what agency and DOTR would do this, to check vessels if they really do not throw solid, liquid, infectious, human, or non-human waste into our waterways, our bays, our rivers, and our oceans, and our seas. Tita natin, panahon ng habagat, no? Depende kung saan. Talagang grabe, maski malinis ka dun sa lugar mo, talagang grabe ang dumi ng plastic at ng lahat. At galing yan sa ibang parte ng archipelago, pero hindi natin alam kung galing din sa ship. So, ano pong ahensya ng gobyerno, Marina ba, ang magtatalaga sa ating mga ships, vessels, para po makita kung talagang hindi po tinatapon sa karagatan habang walang tumitingin?
Your Honor, but Mr. President, there's a shared responsibility between Coast Guard and Marina. Both agencies
are under the OTR.
Under the OTR, they check yung po mga vessels, all ships and all the seacraft and vessels that transcend our sea lanes. So tinitingnan po nila. They make sure that nobody dumps ito pong mga any waste on our seas.
Ganong kadalas po sila nakita ng violations? Both Marina and Coast Guard.
Your Honor, Madam President, Mr. President, unfortunately, they said they don't have the records right now, but they will submit.
Sana wala. Kung hindi nila maalala, ibig sabihin wala, nag-violate. At sino po ang nag-check kung nandun pa ba yung basura mula sa pag-alis hanggang sa pag-traverse niya ng karagatan hanggang sa destination niya or sa destinations kung nandyan pa. Or kung malinis, ay tinapon yan sa karagatan.
According to our Coast Guard Commandant, Your Honor,
Sa Coast
there are
Guard.
violations.
There are violations.
And there are corresponding penalties that have been...
Ano po ang penalty pag makita niyong nagtapon kasi walang laman yung kanilang lagayan?
Meron daw fine, no, and penalties, pero they will just check the amount. They don't have the exact amount right now.
Okay. But I hope it's a joint task between Marina and the Coast Guard. Sana po stricto tayo dahil una, yan ang buhay po ng ating mga mangingisda at almost kalahati po ng ating mga mangingisda. Ang mga pamilya nila dyan nakasalalay ang kanilang kabuhayan, yan ang ating mga kinakain. At pangalawa, paano tayo magkakaroon ng turismo kung mukhang basurahan ang ating karagatan? So that's a very important responsibility. Thank you for that. I now go to the high commitment fees due to undisbursed loan funds and the slow right-of-way acquisitions. Again, during the DOTR hearing last September 29, it was reported that the government has incurred $6.5 million in commitment fees for the Malolos-Clark segment of the North-South Commuter Railway because loan funds from the Asian Development Bank could not be disbursed on time. These fees mount when loan proceeds remain idle. The main cause is slow and inconsistent right-of-way acquisition, driven by land valuation disputes, negotiation challenges, and dependence on unprogrammed appropriations that cannot be released without meeting revenue targets. So all these reasons and more push back the project timelines, increase the costs, and expose the government to avoidable financial penalties. Oversight is needed to clarify the real status of right-of-way acquisition, the financial impact of the delays, and the reforms necessary to prevent further losses. So, having said that, may I know, Mr. President, what are the concrete steps that the DOTR is taking to resolve the persistent right-of-way bottlenecks, valuation disputes, negotiations with landowners, and all of that? Kasi sayang naman yung interest, yung commitment fees in the millions of dollars. Parang matinulak na yan siya, NCCA. Oo, walang kurap doon. At saka, maganda. Kasi konti lang budget. Tapos pinapanood ko sila. Maayos. NCCA.
Your Honor, Mr. President, what will be a big help to resolve the right-of-way issues is the passage of the Right-of-Way Act, the new law that was recently passed, and also they have a budget now of at present of 2.75 billion, hopefully to be able to pay obligations no doon po sa right of way. But as you mentioned earlier, one of the things that really delayed the North-South commuter line in particular was lodging the funding for the foreign assisted projects, especially the GOP portion, in unprogrammed funds, no? And that really had disastrous results, no? Nagkaroon po tayo ng delays because for the first few months, the progress billings was not paid. Yun po, that's one of the reasons why, as I mentioned earlier, before, that JICA went to the President himself to complain about the delays in the project. So now what we did we made sure, with the help of the chair, with the approval of the chairman of the Finance Committee, we made sure that the government participation and the majority of the foreign assistance funds will now be lodged under the program appropriations. And whatever is left in the unprogrammed appropriations, we will have a special provision, hopefully with the consent of the body, that once the loan, there's a billing, immediate priority will be released in unprogrammed funds, Your Honor, to make sure that it will not happen again. What happened in the past, that there will be delays. So as to
Expedite
prevent,
process, yeah.
to expedite and also to prevent the commitment fees that are very expensive, Your Honor.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. Now we go to the uneven distribution of regional budget and the congestion spillover. According to the roadmap for transport infrastructure development for Metro Manila and surrounding areas, prepared by JICA in partnership with NEDA, and this was long ago, 2014 and 2019, NCR, Region 3, 4A, so Central Luzon and Calabarzon, are collectively referred to as the Greater Capital Region, as you know. Collectively, GCR accounted for 56.1% of the country's economic output in real terms in 2024, based on data from the Philippine Statistics Authority. In 2026, however, the National Capital Region, NCR, will again dominate the DOTR budget with 181.6 billion or 92%, leaving only 8% for the other 17 regions, and poorer regions such as BARM, Region 5, Region 9, Region 8 will continue to receive very minimal shares. So NCR's chronic congestion, as we know, doesn't stop in its borders. It spills into Cavite, Laguna, Bulacan, and Rizal, where millions commute daily. Without upgraded infrastructure in these feeder regions, congestion in NCR cannot realistically be solved. Kung again, puro Metro Manila centric tayo, hindi po natin iniisip yung mga nagtatrabaho dito pero nakatira sa Cavite, meron sa Laguna, meron sa Bulacan, sa Pampanga, maaring Tarlac. Paano po yun? Ang concentration ng alokasyon natin ay NCR pa rin. 92% po ng budget. So may I be enlightened, what is a DOTR's basis for allocating 92% of its 2026 budget to NCR, despite a documented need for regional transport development in the Greater Capital Region and the rest of the Philippines? Pagod na ako. Ayoko lang tangin yung flight. Pero siguro parang may on-record.
Your Honor, Mr. President, kaya po mukhang malaki po yung sa NCR because we are currently the biggest projects that are ongoing is the North-South Commuter Line and the Metro Manila Subway System. But the North-South Commuter Line passes through 3 regions. It's not just NCR. It starts in Pampanga, in Clark, traversing to Metro Manila, and then ending in Laguna, in the south. No? And then the Metro Manila Subway System ongoing, and also through your intervention, yung pong mawawalang budget for infrastructure in